The Earth holds its secrets not just in the vastness of its oceans, but in the profound emptiness beneath our feet. We gaze at the stars, mapping galaxies light years away, yet the world directly below us remains a final, formidable frontier. Have you ever truly considered what lies in that silent, eternal darkness? Beyond the reach of the sun, beyond the roots of the oldest trees, deeper than our imagination can comfortably travel? It's a realm that doesn't just challenge our physical limits, but our psychological ones. A place where the familiar rules of the surface world are inverted. Here, the only way is down. Let me take you to the threshold of this underworld, to a place so extreme, so profoundly alien, that it has been called the Everest of Caves. A place where only the most disciplined and courageous dare to venture. This is the story of Veryovkina Cave. Our journey begins high in the Veryovkina Massif of Abkhazia, a disputed territory nestled in the Caucasus Mountains. This is a fortress of limestone, a rugged, isolated landscape carved by ancient glaciers and relentless rain. The rock here is riddled with fractures, creating a perfect environment for the formation of what geologists call supercaves. For millennia, water has seeped into these cracks, dissolving the stone, patiently carving a labyrinthine network of vertical shafts and horizontal passages that plunge into the heart of the mountain. And hidden amongst these peaks is a modest, unassuming entrance, barely a crack in the earth. But this is no ordinary cave. This is the deepest abyss ever discovered. It is Earth's ultimate vertical challenge. To understand its scale, you must recalibrate your sense of distance. Imagine descending 2,223 meters or 7,293 feet. That's like stacking 7 Eiffel Towers on top of each other and climbing down. It's a journey into negative altitude where the pressure builds and the air changes. At this depth, you are further from the surface than the peak of many mountains. The descent begins in a world of green moss and alpine winds, but within meters you are swallowed by a profound geological silence. The light vanishes, not gradually but instantly, leaving you in a darkness so absolute it feels solid. This is a blackness untouched by starlight or moonlight for millions of years. The cave's human story began in 1968. A team of Soviet cavers from the city of Krasnoyarsk were exploring the Veryovkina Massif when they stumbled upon the entrance. At the time, it was just another hole in the ground, one of hundreds in the area. They measured its initial depth at a mere 115 meters and logged it with the cold, bureaucratic designation S115. For years, it remained a minor entry in their survey logs, overshadowed by other, more promising discoveries. In 1982, a second expedition from Moscow's Peril Club pushed a little deeper, renaming it P17. But the cave guarded its true nature, and political turmoil in the region soon brought exploration to a halt for nearly 2 decades. The name it bears today, however, carries a more somber weight. In 1986, the cave was renamed Veryovkina in honor of Alexander Veryovkin. Veryovkin was a legendary caver and cave diver, a pioneer of the Soviet caving scene. Tragically, he died in 1983 during a cave diving accident in a different cave system. Naming this abyss after him was a tribute from his peers, a memorial etched into the very landscape he dedicated his life to exploring. It serves as a constant, poignant reminder that in this world of breathtaking beauty, danger is a constant companion. To descend into Veryovkina is to enter a geological wonderland. This is a place where wonder and danger are inextricably linked. The cave is not just a vertical shaft, it's a complex branching system of meanders, vast chambers and treacherous drops. The air grows thick and humid, carrying the scent of wet stone and ancient earth. Your headlamp beam, the only source of light, carves through the darkness to reveal stunning sights. In some sections, the walls are coated in a rare blue-tinted mineral, giving the passage an ethereal, otherworldly glow. In others, green and black deposits create abstract patterns, a natural art gallery seen by only a handful of humans. Crystal clear water pools, perfectly still, create flawless reflections of the world above, disorienting the senses. But this subterranean world is not lifeless. It is home to a unique ecosystem of creatures known as troglobites, organisms that have evolved over eons to survive in permanent darkness. Here you'll find translucent, eyeless shrimp navigating the frigid pools, ghostly centipedes crawling on the damp walls, and even scorpions perfectly adapted to this lightless realm. These creatures are living fossils, their biology holding secrets to evolution and survival in extreme environments. Every new passage could lead to a scientific breakthrough, a new species, or a geological marvel, but every step is also a calculated risk. The cave is a dynamic environment. A sudden downpour on the surface can trigger a catastrophic flash flood deep within the system, turning narrow passages into deadly water traps with terrifying speed. After the fall of the Soviet Union and years of regional conflict, the Veryovkina Massif became accessible once more. The story of Veryovkina was waiting to be finished. Fast forward to the new millennium. The year is 2001. Armed with decades of technological advancement, stronger, lighter ropes, powerful LED headlamps, and a deeper understanding of vertical caving techniques, the next generation of explorers was ready to take on the challenge. The torch was passed back to the Peril Club, the same group that had explored the cave in the 80s. They returned to the unassuming entrance, their mission fueled by the legacy of those who came before them and an unyielding determination to see how deep the rabbit hole truly went. They knew the risks, they knew the history, but the pull of the unknown was stronger. Their return marked the beginning of the modern era of exploration in Veryovkina, an era that would see the cave finally reveal its astonishing, record-shattering secret. Expedition after expedition, a new generation of explorers pushes the limits of what's possible. They are driven by a collective obsession to chart a realm that has never known sunlight. Each trip builds upon the last, a painstaking process of rigging, surveying, and camping deep within the earth, pushing ever deeper into the vertical labyrinth. In 2017, their relentless effort paid off. A team reached a staggering depth of 2,204 meters, setting a new world record. The news was a monumental achievement, the culmination of years of brutal, unseen work. At base camp, the celebration was euphoric. After weeks of tension and toil in the cold, silent dark, they had stood at the bottom of the world. But records aren't won without risk. In Veryovkina, triumph is always shadowed by peril. The cave does not give up its secrets willingly. Every meter descended is a gamble, and the passages that lead to glory can, in an instant, become a trap. In 2018, this reality struck with terrifying force. A team led by renowned cave photographer Robbie Schoen and his assistant Jeff Wade descended to document the cave's deepest sections. Their mission was to bring the beauty of this hidden world to the surface. But deep underground, they faced a harrowing ordeal. Imagine being 1,900 meters below the surface, a journey that took days to complete. Far above, a storm raged, a fact the team was completely unaware of. The water, funneled by the mountain's geology, began to pour into the cave. Suddenly, the cave begins to flood. Water roars in. It's a flash flood, a torrent of frigid, churning water transforming their route into a violent river. The sound is deafening. Passages that took hours to navigate are submerged in minutes. A choice had to be made instantly, life over equipment. Expensive cameras and scientific instruments, the purpose of their mission, are abandoned. All that mattered now was escape. But there was nowhere to go. The floodwaters blocked their only way out. The team scrambled to a small, high-ground chamber. All you can do is huddle together and wait, trapped more than a mile underground. For hours, the team clung to survival, surrounded by darkness and the unrelenting sound of water. The psychological toll was immense. Every sound was a threat. Was the water still rising? They fought the creeping cold, utterly helpless, listening to the sound of the water that held their lives in its balance. When the floodwaters finally receded, they began a grueling ascent. The cave was transformed, with ropes caked in mud and passages slick and unstable. After another full day of climbing, they saw a distant pinprick of light. They made it out, shaken but alive. Their story is a testament to teamwork and endurance. But the cave's dangers don't end there. Sometimes the threat is silent, patient, and strikes not at a team but at a single individual. In November 2020, a caver named Sergei Kozeev entered Veryovkina alone. While solo caving is practiced by some, in a cave of this magnitude, it eliminates any margin for error. Reports suggest his preparation was tragically inadequate for the deep, cold, and wet environment. At a depth of 1,100 meters, it's believed he succumbed to hypothermia. It's a slow, insidious killer, As the core body temperature drops, judgment becomes impaired. Shivering gives way to confusion, then lethargy. Alone in the absolute dark, he would have simply faded away. His body was only found months later, in August of the following year, when another expedition team came upon his final resting place. The recovery was a somber and difficult operation, a grim task for his fellow explorers. Sergei's fate serves as the ultimate cautionary tale. It is a stark and tragic reminder that nature does not negotiate. Caving isn't just about guts, it's about knowledge, an encyclopedic understanding of single-rope techniques, the ability to navigate a three-dimensional maze from memory and a map, and recognizing the subtle signs of changing conditions within the cave. It's about preparation. Meticulous months-long planning of logistics, packing redundant systems for every critical piece of gear and establishing underground camps stocked with supplies, creating lifelines back to the surface. And it's about respect, a profound respect for the Earth's raw power, an understanding that you are a fragile visitor in a geological timescale and that humility is the most important survival tool of all. So, why risk it all? For the explorers of Veryovkina, it's about pushing the limits of human discovery. It's the profound thrill of mapping a world no one has ever seen, of shining a light into a passage and knowing you are the first human being to ever witness it. Each data point helps draw a more complete picture of our own planet. It's the staggering, silent beauty of vast chambers adorned with crystalline formations that have grown in darkness for millennia, and the discovery of pristine underground lakes, their surfaces like black glass. It's the chance to find what feels like alien life. Deep in the cave, scientists have discovered new species of troglobites, creatures that have evolved in total isolation without pigment or eyes. They are living keys to understanding adaptation and survival. And perhaps most importantly, it's about the camaraderie forged in darkness. When your life literally hangs on a rope held by your teammate, it creates an unbreakable bond of trust and friendship. The journey isn't over. The map of Veryovkina is still incomplete. With every expedition, new secrets are uncovered and new questions arise. What lies beyond the terminal sump? Are there connections to other cave systems? The allure of the unknown remains as powerful as ever, ensuring that explorers will continue to return, ready to face the darkness, the danger, and the profound beauty that waits in the deepest cave on Earth. But one thing's certain, Veryovkina Cave will keep calling to those who crave the unknown. It's a siren song for the human spirit that sees a dark opening in the Earth not as an ending, but as an invitation. For the speleologists and scientists who dedicate their lives to the dark, this is the ultimate frontier. It's a chance to map the unmappable and push the limits of human endurance. The physical and psychological toll is immense, yet the allure of discovery is simply too powerful to resist. Thanks for joining me on this epic descent. We've journeyed through a vertical labyrinth over 2 kilometers deep, witnessing stunning waterfalls and vast silent chambers. We've glimpsed the strange life that thrives in total darkness and confronted the ever-present dangers, from sudden floods to the crushing weight of being so far from the sun. It's a world unto itself. Even now, Veryovkina holds its deepest secrets close. There are still passages to be pushed, siphons to be dived, and scientific questions to be answered. The story of this colossal cave is far from over. Its final chapter has yet to be written. If you want more stories from the edge of the Earth and the depths beneath it, you know where to find me.